Hello, nerds, and welcome back to Lily's Ranger Talk. We are back with part 2 of what we did the last episode, but this time we're going to look at Super Sentai unpopular opinions. As always, this is Lily with Lily's Ranger World, and this is the last episode I'm going to be recording in my bedroom for a little while. It is the week before Power Morphicon, and of course, this weekend, the weekend of Power Morphicon, I will not be a Power Morphicon, as you guys may already know, but I will be moving into my dorm room. The next episode after this will also be recorded in my bedroom, because I recorded it before the Super Sentai opinions, and it was, the Boom Ranger halfway review. If you guys saw on my Instagram, I have a little schedule of, the first couple episodes, but yeah. Today's gonna be the last day of me recording in my bedroom, and then after the Boom Ranger review, most episodes that will be recorded in my dorm room, because I'm moving back in for the last time for college. And I'm gonna just sidetrack off of Super Sentai and Power Rangers for a second, because it's so weird that this is my last semester of college. And it's weird because my first semester of college, around 3 weeks into the first couple weeks of my freshman year, and granted we started late because of COVID, that's when I started my Power Rangers page, and it's just so weird that this is how far I came. I honestly thought with this page I was going to do it for a couple weeks and then just stop, but I ended up doing it way more consistently, and look where we are now. I'm doing a podcast. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started with the unpopular opinions. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear some background noise. That's my fan. I usually turn it off when I'm recording, but not today. I am very hot and I need this fan to cool me down. But yeah, let's get started. So, like the Power Rangers unpopular opinions, I went to Reddit to find these unpopular opinions. However, I couldn't really find any good ones. And I think mainly that is because, I've only watched 11 and a half, because I'm counting Boom Rangers as half, Super Sentai season. So, compared to, while I haven't watched every Power Ranger season, A, I easily could, and B, I've at least seen, a handful of episodes from each season. It's a little harder because there's 48 Super Sentai seasons, and I have ADHD and a bad attention span. So, that being said, I did find a couple, and we're going to talk about them, and I'm actually going to include my own unpopular opinion, because when I was recording the Boom Ranger halfway review, I kind of forgot to mention something. Okay, so I actually made a realization that I probably talked about this on my Instagram, but I don't hate the Boom Ranger suits. I always liked the helmets, for starters. I thought the helmets looked really cool, and this is also an unpopular opinion, but I've never really hated the lips on most of the helmets. I mean, I don't prefer it, but if they're on there, I'm not gonna write an angry paragraph about it. And yeah, the suits themselves, I mean, they could be better. I even said that I wish they had a little more color than they do. More of their colors. But, and for the record, I'm talking about the main 5 suits. I'm still figuring out how I feel about Boom Violet's suit. I think it looks too different in my opinion, but yeah. The main 5 suits I don't hate, and I think they look good. Are they my favorite suits? Nowhere near that. I don't even know what my favorite suits are. If I were to rank them, I know I did an episode of Lily's Ranger Talk on Instagram, and I said which suits I liked, but I don't have a definitive list oh, this is my favorite suit, number 1 hands down. But yeah, to conclude with my thought, the Boom Ranger suits, they aren't bad, and I don't think they're the worst suits in the franchise. That's probably Battle Fever J, but even Battle Fever J's suits, I actually don't hate. I kind of like the Battle Fever J suits because of how unique they are and how, like, it's so bad it's good. Like, that's kind of where I'm going with Battle Fever J suits. So the first unpopular opinion I found, and I will try and say Reddit users if it applies. It does not apply here. This account was deleted, but I didn't know this was an unpopular opinion. It says Go-Sager was a great Super Sentai, and I 100% agree with this. Now, is Go-Sager in my top 5? It isn't, but I still think it was a really good show. I love the theme of angels and then the cards. I thought the story was pretty good, and, you know, I had a great time watching it. You know, I laughed, I cried. My favorite episode was when Monet and Eri were like fighting, and then Aleta got into the middle of it, and then they just dragged him off, and he did it twice. I laughed, like, both times that happened. I do think some of the characters were forgettable, particularly Gosei Blue, because he only got like a handful of like episodes, and like the most significant one was with Gosei Green, his partner / friend. But I still would give it a watch. I think the problem with Go-Sager mainly is not the show itself. I think like I said, the show itself is great, but I think the problem is the show that came before and the show that came after. Because in the lineup, it is Shinkenger, Go-Sagers, and then Go-Kaiger. And Go-Sager is honestly stuck in the middle of two Sentai seasons that are top tier. A lot of people have it as their number one pick for their favorite Sentai season, either one or the other. So, you know, Go-Sagers gets overshadowed. And it sucks, because again, I think it's a really good season. Dare I say it's underrated. But, you know, unfortunately, it gets forgotten because we have those two S-tier seasons. This next Reddit post is from Drew Dragon. Go-Kaiger is not a good introduction to Super Sentai. You should have a few seasons under your belt to truly appreciate Go-Kaiger. With this opinion comes a story. So, I have talked about this, but I actually started my Super Sentai journey rather recently, back in 2021, and I started with Magi Ranger. I mean, technically, I started with Dai Ranger. Like, I watched, I want to say 5 episodes of Dai Ranger, but then I stopped. And then months later, I went to Magi Ranger, and I ended up watching the whole series, and I loved it. After Magi Ranger, I tried to watch Go-Kaiger, and I could not get past the first episode. I was like, why is this so liked by so many people? So, I stopped watching Go-Kaiger, and I went on to watch a couple more seasons of Super Sentai. Granted, it was mainly seasons that were after Go-Kaiger, because I watched Zooger and Lupat and Q Ranger, and I tried Kia Major. But even watching those later seasons, and obviously, like I said, I watched Zooger, so the Go-Kaigers did come in. I think watching like a couple of seasons before watching Go-Kaigers is really great to have that appreciation for Super Sentai. And I kind of agree that I think you should watch a couple of seasons, bonus points if it's seasons before Go-Kaiger, in order to appreciate the show more. But do I think it's necessarily, does that equal like it's a bad introduction season? Not necessarily. I mean, I know a couple people who started with Go-Kaiger, and it made them want to go back and watch the previous seasons. And honestly, with the Jetman episode, it did make me want to go back and watch Jetman, which I did. And like I said, I think it's up to the person themselves on what their first Super Sentai should be. I mean, I do recommend, you know, watching a couple of Sentai seasons before going to Go-Kaiger. But if you start with Go-Kaiger, that's not a big deal either. This one has a chain of unpopular opinions, but I'm only going to talk about the first one because all the other ones I can't say because I didn't watch these seasons, but I did watch Jetman, and this one says Blue Swallow, aka Akko, is the most grating and obnoxious character I have seen. Boy, do I disagree. Okay, I mean I disagree, but I guess that's also because I really do like Akko. I think she was a fun character, and yeah, she was grating and obnoxious, but I think that's what makes her a good character. Because, spoiler alert, she's a teenager. She's in high school. So, of course, she's gonna be, annoying and stuff. I think she was one of my favorites. I mean, obviously, Guy's the best. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Akko. It's just, I really liked her. I mean, obviously, she was forgotten pretty much along with Raita because, Jetman was pretty much the Guy, Ryu, and Kari show, but Akko had some really good focus episodes. This next one is also about Jetman and is from Donnie7. Jetman is just alright. So, I have mixed opinions on this. I half agree with this opinion because I think Jetman was a really great season. I mean, great in terms of I really liked the Byram designs, the monsters, because they were genuinely scary. I think, and granted, this was the 90s, and my first 90s Super Sentai, but I think those monster designs were probably some of the best designs I have seen in Super Sentai so far in my journey. I thought they were scared. Some of them were genuinely terrifying, and I loved it. And then the halfway where I agree is going back. I really don't like some of the characters as much as I feel like other people do. In my Jetman review that I did on my Instagram, I said that Ryu was a natural leader, but just because I said he was a natural leader does not mean I think he was a good one. I think he was too caught up in his feelings about Rie, and that kind of made him a very bad character. And I mean, yeah, Guy was an asshole, but Guy is supposed to be an asshole, and his arc was really good. The thing that I didn't like about Jetman, actually, and is the reason why it didn't end up in my top 5 like I thought it would be, is the ending. Now, I did watch, and I mentioned this in this episode, I watched the Gokaiger episode of Jetman before I watched Jetman itself, so I already knew that Guy was going to die. But what I didn't know was how Guy was gonna die. And the fact that he was just... I thought he was gonna die from the Vyram. Who did he fight against? I'm drawing a blank, but I think it was Gray who he fought against. It was either Gray or Radicate that he fought against, and he won, but barely, I think. And I thought he was gonna die during that, but instead, he just died an everyday hero, which I mean is honorable, but it also wasn't preventable, because Guy could have told Ryu that, hey, I got shot. I mean, I guess on one hand, I'm glad that he didn't, because, he didn't want to ruin his friend's day, which is very honorable, but, at the same time, I don't know, man. And also, the other thing is that Guy died 3 times before, and then comes back to life. So that really took away from the impact of him dying for good. So yeah, that made Jetman kind of fall flat for me. So this isn't one that, I mean, a lot of people wrote about it, which is why I'm mentioning it. So many people say that Tokijers is an underrated season, and it makes my heart so happy. I talked about it in my Can Major rant, but Tokijers was the show that I thought I was going to hate more than Can Major. But it really took me by surprise. I really loved Tokiger. I loved the story. I loved the suits. I love the concept of them, like, switching colors, but Akira couldn't. I love Akira, by the way. Akira is probably one of my favorite Six Rangers. Is my favorite Six Ranger. When I did a ranking, yeah, Akira turned out to be number one. Tokachi, I love Tokachi. He is my favorite Sentai Blue because he's adorable. Even, like, outranking my beloved Queen Sayla from Zyuohger, who is my sweetheart and my favorite person ever. And then Kagura, I also really love Kagura. One of my favorite Sentai Pinks. I think number 2, right next to Raptor from Kyranger, who is my favorite. My favorite so much that I have a stuffed cow that I named after Raptor. I also have a dinosaur named after Luca, so, that's fun. But, yeah, I think Tokijers is a really good show, and the concept is so fun, and I recommend it. And that being said, it's the 10-year anniversary in 2024, and I think it was just announced a couple weeks ago that at least Tokiger Ichigo, you know, the Red Ranger, is coming back for, I think, a special or a movie for Boom Ranger. And when I tell you, I was so excited. I do hope that it's more than just the Red Ranger. I hope they all come back. I don't even know if Wright himself is coming back. But like I said, I hope that they all come back. I wouldn't be surprised if Kagura's actress came back. She came back for the Super Sentai tournament. But yeah, I love Tokijers. Please go watch it. It's such a good time. Next one is from Create Water, and it is having non-humans such as robots and animals as rangers, especially primary ones, is not fun. I mainly disagree for 2 reasons. 1, I think they are fun. And 2, let's talk about the seasons that this person mentions. The first one is Senkaiger. And yeah, the Kikais were kind of just there and, like, boring and forgetful. But in all fairness, they only did this because of COVID. At least I'm 99% sure that that's the reason why they did it. And then there's Kyurangers, which I have talked about is my favorite season. And honestly, the different, like, species of Rangers is the reason, part of the reason why I like it so much. And also, in all fairness, there are 12 Rangers. 9 main ones, and then they added 3 extras with Tsurugi, I think it's his name. The soldier one. Technically being the 6th Ranger in this case scenario. Only 5 out of the 12 are, you know, non-human. And honestly, I don't think, with the exception of, like, Champ and Garu and, like, Balance, I don't think the other 2 fight often. And Raptor's one of the main 9. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been like a hot second since I've seen Kyuranger. I think I should watch it again. But, like, I don't think Raptor and then the Commander fight as often as, like, Garu, Balance, and Champ. And they definitely don't get as much focus as all of those 3 characters. And then there's Zyuohger, where and no hate to this person, whoever you are, if you're watching this, but in all fairness to in defense of Zyuohger, yeah, they're humans, I think is what they're called, where they're technically, like, animals, but they're also humans, and they're mainly humans throughout the entire season. Like, yeah, sometimes they'll go back to, like, their natural state, but very rarely. Like, maybe every now and again. So, I just think, having Zoo Ranger on that list is kind of unfair. But, okay, hold on. I backtracked that. Or no, I don't, because I was thinking of, like, the other bird character who is a Zooman. But, no, he also has, like, a human disguise that he uses. So, never mind. The only other one that I'm thinking of is, like, the gorilla, but the gorilla gave his powers up to, Yamato, so I take that back. I think it's unfair to have Zero on this list. I'm gonna do a couple more of these, maybe like 2. This next one is from Acceler 8Z Hit. Kichi Brother and Inu Brother both have banger character designs, and their CGI is on the same level of every other weekly tokusatsu. So if you ask me this is about Dome Brothers, by the way. If you asked me this a year or 2 ago, I probably would say that I did not like the CGI for either. But my opinion has changed. Looking back, I do think I like Inu Brothers' design, which is Tsubasa, and that is the black dumb brother. I mean, he was supposed to look like a dog, so in all fairness, that's why he's so tiny. Also, I don't remember if this was like a rumor or if this was originally going to be the idea for Dome Brothers, but wasn't Kichi Brother and Inu Brother going to be like a crane and a dog originally? Am I imagining that, or was that confirmed? Or not confirmed, but was going to be the idea? Because that would have been cool, in my opinion. Not that I don't like Kijino and Tsubasa, but yeah. I don't think Inu Brothers' design is that bad. I don't like Kichi Brother. I mean, it works, I guess, but I would have probably just preferred, a regular suit, like the other 3, if I'm being honest. That being said, like, it's not bad. The CGI itself, like, is not bad. I just don't like it. So, like, I guess this is more like a half agree, because Inu Brother is fine. Kichi Brother, I do wish they used the regular suit, but I don't. It's meh for me. And the last one I'm gonna do from now is from Ping. Every season has something good about it, even if it's a bad season. As much as I hate Sun Vulcan, I can at least point out its good parts. And of course I agree with that. I mean, this first episode of this whole thing was me complaining about Kia Major, but there were some really good things I liked about Kia Major. I liked Senna, I liked Mabushina, I loved the ending dance, and I didn't mention this in my rant, but I did really like the suits. I thought the suits were very fun and very sparkly, and, I think it looked really great. It is a suit that I wish we saw in the Power Rangers franchise, and, Power Rangers could have done a season based off of Kia Major, and it could have been absolute dog garbage, but I probably still would have liked it better than Kia Major. That being said, that concludes our episode of Lily's Ranger Talk. Let me know your unpopular Super Sentai opinions in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell notification to know when I'm going to be doing more of these. And follow me on Instagram at Lilies_RangerWorld, where we have these fun discussions, and I also cry about not going to Power Morphicon. I just had to go back to school. But don't worry, guys. I will probably be a Power Morphicon in 2026. Is that my confirmation? Sure. Let's take it like that. But, yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode where we talk about Boon Boonger. Okay, bye, guys.